Good morning, Year Fours. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and that you're well rested and ready for the new week's work. I'm going to explain to you how it will be working this week because it's going to be different than before. So I have this PowerPoint video to explain all the work that you'll be doing throughout the week. Everything is in here, but you can do it task by task every day. There are 6 tasks and you can complete them as you want. I would maybe suggest task 5 and 6 completed for the last day of the week because the listening activity, which is task 5, is a fun one to do. Let's have a look. So you'll be doing a listening activity. You're going to read and view a poem. That's only going to be a speaking activity. You will read and view a recipe, and you're going to answer some comprehension questions in writing. Then we will be learning about countable and uncountable nouns, in structural text, singular and plural nouns, and then you will be writing your own set of instructions. The reason why we're learning about the countable and uncountable nouns as well as plural nouns is it links very well with writing instructions. Okay, are you ready? Let's move along. The things that you will be needing this week to do all your English work, it's your English textbook, your pink GDE book, the printed worksheets that I've sent to your parents, but if you're not able to print them, you are also welcome to do it on a lined piece of A4 paper while you look at the screen of the worksheets. Then you'll have to find your favorite recipe, favorite food recipe, or a recipe or instructions of things that you like to make. For example, slime, or maybe a craft, or building a tree house, right? And then lastly, you'll need your English reader. Okay, we're going to start straight away with our speaking activity, and we're going to read this poem on page 52 in your textbook. I am going to read the poem to you, and then we'll be answering the questions together. You'll be giving the answers on your side, and you're allowed to shout out this time because you're not in class. So here we go. Before we read, I want you to have a look at the pictures and read the title. And if there's anybody close to you, quickly say, what do you think this poem is about, looking at the title and the pictures? Then I would like you to find the rhyming words, but just take note of them while we are reading the poem. Okay, here we go. Did You Really? By Judith Nichols. Dip, dip, dip. Did you ever lick a lollipop stick dipped in mustard? Did it make you sick? My. Did you ever try a popcorn pie chopped up with an onion? Did it make you cry? Hoo. Did you ever chew a bubblegum stew mixed up with custard? Can I have some too? Right, let's quickly answer the questions, and you just do it right there where you're sitting. Do you think a lollipop dipped in mustard tastes good? Why do you think so? This is your own opinion, so you can just give any answer you want. B. What did the girl mix with the popcorn? Yes, you're right, she mixed onion. Do you think custard tastes good with bubblegum? And why do you think so? Once again, that's your own opinion. What foods do you enjoy? And lastly, what kind of poem is it? Is it silly or funny or sad? And how did you feel when you read the poem? Let's move along. Let's talk about countable and uncountable nouns. Right, firstly, I want to quickly explain to you countable nouns. It is things or people that can be counted, physically counted, like an apple or a picture or carrots. This links really well with food, and that's why we will be thinking of this because of our writing of instructions this week. Then what you can do with countable nouns, you can keep it singular on its own, or it could be more than one. 20 carrots, 5 cucumbers, 3 apples. Right? You can use it with a or an or the or my, and then also with the words some, any, many, or few. Now the interesting one is the uncountable nouns. It is words where things cannot be counted. For example, sugar, or flour, or rice, or water, or milk, or bread. Now, some of you might say, ma'am, we can count rice. Well, good luck to you if you want to count rice. This is usually, it's always used in the singular form, so you can't say, I will have waters, or I will have flowers, or I will have sugars. Okay, you cannot use it with a or an. You can't say a water, or a sugar, or a milk. Yes, it sounds okay, but I'll explain that to you now. Right, and then it can be used alone or with words like some, any, much, or little. Uncountable foods usually are named in a specific way, and we call it quantity and a quantity expression, meaning to explain how much of that uncountable noun you're using, you use a little expression with it, like a loaf of bread or a slice of bread. And that's when you can say a loaf of bread or a slice of bread. Then you speak of a piece of cheese, a glass of milk, a bottle of water, a cup of rice. So that is what we use to give the noun, the food noun, a quantity, or so that you know how much you can use. Right. There is some examples, wonderful pictures. You can have a look at them, especially uncountable nouns, which is interesting to look at. And I would please like you to complete the task in your Pink GDE book, page 8 and page 16, as well as do some reading, page 25 and 27 in your English reader. Okay, now we move along to task 2, and this is where we're going to have a look at this recipe, where you're going to read the recipe by yourself, and I will read it out for you one time, and then you will be answering these questions on a piece of paper, and then you can ask an adult or an older brother or sister to check your answers. Okay, this is Tandi's easy birthday cake. She's got a title for her recipe. She is going to use the following ingredients: 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 cup of milk, a half a cup of margarine, 2 eggs, and icing and candles for decoration. The method, or the instructions of how she will be doing it. Heat the oven to 190 degrees Celsius. Number 2, grease the bottom of a cake tin. Number 3, mix all the ingredients in a large bowl. Number 4, beat for 5 minutes with a mixer. 5, bake the cake in the oven for 30 minutes. 6, take the cake out of the oven. 7, cool the cake for 10 minutes in the tin. 8, take the cake out of the tin. 9, after you've taken the cake out of the tin, decorate it with colored icing and candles. This cake is big enough for 12 people. Right, you can complete those questions from A to H on a piece of paper in full sentences, please, and let one of your parents check them. You don't have to do that number 4 at the end. Okay, now I'm going to introduce to you in structural text. What is this? Okay, when we want to make things, we want to write instructions to explain how to make it or how to do it. So the reader of the instructions should be able to follow them and be able to make the thing that's the task that's on hand. So we have instructions for recipes, for do-it-yourself tasks that things that you might want to build. Game instructions. We have instructions for science experiments. Packaging, which tells you how to make some food or some sauces. Then we have instructions for how to make crafts, video tutorials, and instructions for directions. So what does instructions usually look like? Okay, they are in a chronological order. So in a time order, because you need to do it in a specific way. When you start writing instructions, you always need to have a title so that people know what it is about. The next thing you need is a list of ingredients or materials. And when we're further down the year, we will do the list of equipment that you need, but we won't be doing it right now. Then what you do is you explain step by step how you will be making something. You number them, each step, and you're also going to add pictures to show exactly what you have to do in each step. A very important thing is when you write your instructions, each sentence has to start with a bossy verb. Bossy verb is one that starts at the beginning. You're not using extra words. You are telling us directly what to do. Mix this, cut that, fix this, blend this. So you don't use you are going to blend the eggs. Not at all. You just say blend the eggs. Short and simple. An important thing to remember is instructions are always written in the simple present tense. Okay, here's some examples of instructional texts. There is a pasta with bacon and tomato sauce recipe. You could read through it and have a look there. The 5 instructions each have a bossy verb at the beginning, and the instructions are nice and short. So as well on that how to plant a bulb, very short and simple instructions with bossy bossy verbs. Okay, and then I would please like you to complete task 3. You're going to make a fruit salad. Oh, the instructions are a fruit salad and a banana milkshake, and that is on page 52 and 53 in your pink GDE book. And I would like you to please read page 29 for today. Plural nouns. Hey, here we go. So there's a few rules in English of how to write plural nouns, which is a little bit more complicated than in Afrikaans. The same as in Afrikaans, most words just get an S added to them. But then there's a few exceptions, as it always is with English. Then you get words that end with ch, sh, the double S and the X, and those words you add an ES, because obviously it's going to be too many S's at the end. Then words ending with a Y, you will drop the Y and you're going to add a IES to the word. As you can see there with baby, it becomes babies with that spelling. Then words ending with an F or even an FE, like in the word wife, you will drop the F and you will add a VES. As you can see there with wolf becomes wolves. And then, as always with English, we have exceptions to the rule. So these are called irregular nouns, plural irregular nouns, and you will see them, and most of those you know anyway. Mouse becomes mice, man becomes men, foot becomes feet, person becomes people, a deer stays deer even if it's more than one, child becomes children, tooth becomes teeth, woman becomes woman, goose becomes geese, and fish stays the same. I would like you to complete task 4. There is a quick task on page 74 in your pink GDE book. It's going to take you 1 minute. And then I would like you to complete the singular and plural worksheet. And I want you to read page 30. Okay, juffrouws. So you're going to have your worksheet in front of you with 12 numbered blocks. If you don't have that printed worksheet, you could just draw a table on a piece of paper with 12 blocks. Make sure they're big enough for you to write or draw in. Now I'm going to read you some instructions, and I need you to listen really carefully. I'm only going to repeat it one time. Write or draw the correct answer in the correct block, because I'm not going to do it in order. Are you ready? Number 1. Write down the name of a European country. Number 4. Draw a bottle. Number 7. Name the city you live in. Number 10. Write the word of your favorite food. Number 2. Draw a cup of coffee. Number 12. Draw a smiley face. Number 5. Write down the number of brothers or sisters you have. Number 9. Draw a flower. Number 3. Draw a bicycle. Number 11. Write down the name of a vegetable. Number 6. Draw a flag. And lastly, number 8. Write down the name of an African animal. Later, you can check your answers on the memos that I've sent with the parents. Right, quickly reviewing what we're going to write on your own instructions, and we're just running through it so that you are ready. Okay, instructions, as you know, is always in a specific chronological order so that it makes sense for the person reading it. You need to have a title to say what you're going to make. You need to have a list of the ingredients or materials that you'll be using to complete this task. Then you have to write in order by numbers each step of how you will make this recipe or build this thing. You need to use bossy verbs at the beginning of each of those sentences, and you need to remember that they have to be in simple present tense. I want you to only write 4 instructions, so you have to keep your recipe or whatever you're building really simple. And lastly, I want you to draw a picture with every step showing what you are doing. Okay, there I have included an example again, the lovely pasta dish, so that you can remember how to write. And then I want you to use a checklist on our on the worksheet, which your parents can download. There is a little checklist to make sure that you've remembered every single step. When you've done your work, then ask a parent or an adult to just check your work. Thank you, Year 4s, for working so hard this week. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.